Hi guys, I hope that you're having a fabulous day. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a tag video for you. I was tagged by the beautiful May or Mrs. Leba to share my oldest luxury handbags and give a trip down memory lane. So I hope that you enjoy it. If you do, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So I have a total of 6 luxury handbags that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Unfortunately, I don't have any of my first pieces because I sold them all. And there are times when I think maybe I should have kept it because it had sentimental value. It was my first. At the same time, I'm the type of person that if something doesn't work out for me, I end up selling it, and I don't want it to just sit on my shelf. Plus, I feel that the memories that are attached to that item, even though I no longer have it, those memories will forever live in my mind. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But nonetheless, the bags that I will be talking about today, I have had for quite some time. Now, before I jump into the luxury bags, I don't even know if this is allowed for this tag video, but I wanted to include it because I wanted to highlight a bag or a brand that it might not be considered a luxury brand and it might not have a luxury price point, but it was luxury to me at the time. And I think that had it not been for this bag, had it not been for this brand, I don't know if I would have collected luxury goods later on in life. I have no idea. I could be wrong. But still, I wanted to highlight it because it really does have a special place in my heart and it really kickstarted my love for luxury. And I am talking about the Coach Demi Baguette. This is in the beautiful Coach signature fabric, and it also has the fuchsia suede and the fuchsia leather. Now, I have had this bag for, oh my goodness, I want to say 24 years, somewhere along those lines. This was my first expensive handbag, and I will never ever forget it. This was a gift from my dad, and I was just over the moon when I got it. I thought it was the most beautiful thing on the planet. I thought I was the coolest kid on the block because I had this bag, but I love it, and I rocked this thing to death. It didn't matter if it was raining. It didn't matter if it was like 110 degrees outside, if I was sweating. It did not matter. I used it with everything and I used it everywhere because I was just obsessed with this bag. And the fact that it's 22, 23, 24 years old, however old it is, the fact that it's that old, and with what I have put this bag through, the fact that it still looks like this, I think is absolutely amazing. I have never cleaned it. I have never cleaned it. And like I said, I used it everywhere. I wasn't careful with it. I didn't baby it. It was back in the day when I wouldn't freak out about every little thing. I wouldn't put these bags in bubbles or anything along those lines. So the fact that it's still going strong this long after, does that make sense? No. The fact that it's still going strong all these years later, I think is a testament to the quality that Coach had. And like I said, this really kickstarted my my obsession with Coach. I ended up getting this, this collection, this larger collection. And then after Coach, then I started to move into luxury. And I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, I could be wrong. I feel like a lot of people either started with Coach or started with Dooney & Bourke before they got into luxury goods. And I would love to know if you guys were the same way. Let me know in the comment section down below. So I think it's fitting. I think it's appropriate to include this bag because it was luxury to me at the time, and it's amazing. The inside does have some little, I put candies in here, I put mints in here, I put gum in here, and it has some little stains in there, but still, come on, over 20 years old, that is amazing. I will never, ever, ever, ever part ways with this bag. You can offer me $1 million for this bag and it will still stay in my collection. So, and I still use it too. From time to time I bust it out, but it is so insanely cute and it has a special place in my heart. All right, now for the luxury bags. So this first one, I've had it for 13 years, somewhere along those lines. And it was actually the first bag that I did my first YouTube video on. And if you have been watching me this long, you already know what it is. And that is the beautiful Louis Vuitton Neverfull MM in the Demi Azur. So like I said, I've had this bag for 13 years, I want to say. But I vividly remember when the Neverfull was released in 2007. I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that bag is beautiful, because I have always been a tote girl. And up until that point, I really only had monogram pieces. So I liked the Neverfull and the monogram, but then I heard rumors that they were going to release it in Damier Ebene and in Damier Azur. So I was like, okay, I gotta wait. Because my first love for Louis Vuitton has always been Damier Ebene. So 2007, the Neverfull was released. Then in 2008, the Damier Ebene was released, but I waited because it wasn't until, I want to say it was December 2009 that they released the Damier Azur. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait. So I believe I got this bag in 2010. And when I walked into the boutique, I was like, oh my, I already knew what I wanted. I beelined, you know, for the sales associate. And I remember her telling me, are you sure, you know, Damier Azur is known for color transfer. You have to be really careful. And I really appreciated the fact that she was so thorough with what can happen with Damier Azur. But it didn't matter if she said, dude, you're going to get color transfer today. There was no stopping me. I was a woman on a mission when it came to this bag. And I absolutely love it. I loved it then. I still love it now. And it's not because it's Damier Azur and it's not because it's a tote. It's just because I think that it is that amazing of a handbag, you know? And I have put this bag through the ringer as well. And even though it is, yes, prone to color transfer, the fact that I didn't get color transfer on this bag until, I want to say it's probably been 6 or 7 years now, I think is pretty cool. And I promised myself that when I got it, I would not baby it because, you know, once I got into the luxury part of handbags, I would freak out. I would put bags in bubbles. You guys have heard me say this a million times. And I promised myself that I wasn't going to do it with this bag, and I never did. And I'm so happy because I have enjoyed this bag to the fullest. I have used it as a travel bag. I have used it as a beach bag. I have used it as an errand bag, as a work bag, you name it. This bag has been, I feel like, everywhere, and I love it. There was a time when I thought about getting the leather replaced or maybe getting a new one, but nah. I love the beauty marks that it has. I love that it tells a story because no other Neverfull will have the exact same beauty marks that I have. And after this one, it was followed by the Neverfull MM in the monogram canvas. And after this one, it was followed by the Neverfull MM in the Damier Ebene. So as you can tell, all three of them are in the MM size, and I really like that size the best. Now for these, I paid several $100s. I think for this one was right under $700 if I'm not mistaken. I am the worst when it comes to for the time frames. I want to say it was right under $700. Yeah. So to think that they are now over $2,000, that is absolute insanity, right? That is absolute insanity because, I mean, yeah, it's still a great bag. And if I didn't have them now, would I still buy one today with what I know about it? I would. It's still a lot of money for a Neverfull, you know, considering the materials that it's made out of. But I still think it's absolutely worth it to this day with the crazy price point that it has. But I am happy that I got them back in the day, and the fact that they also have the beautiful, you know, cursive or the font, the original font, because they don't have this font anymore. And all of mine are made in the USA. It says made in the USA. All right, on to a 10-year-old beauty. That is the Louis Vuitton Speedy 30, the classic Speedy 30 in the Damier Azur. So this bag is incredibly special to my collection because this was purchased at the Louis Vuitton store at the Champs-Élysées on our first trip to Paris. And I will never forget it. The hubs surprised me on a trip to Paris for my birthday. I was like ecstatic. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. I think it was the first day that we were there. I don't even think I slept. I was like, we gotta go. We gotta go to Louis Vuitton. We went to the Champs-Élysées and I asked for this bag. So this beauty will forever be with me. And this I have not gotten any color transfer on it. And I really think it's because it's a hand carry bag compared to the Neverfull, since I do end up using it on my shoulder and I do wear a lot of dark colored clothing. But with this one, I have been extremely lucky. There has been zero color transfer, although the squares have started to yellow a little bit from when I first got it. When I first got it, I wouldn't say it was necessarily stark white, but it had this really pretty creamy white. Now it's more of a yellowish white, even though I'm careful with how I store it because I do keep it out of the sun and I have it in a dust bag. But still, I end up using this bag a lot in the summertime. So obviously with the sun hitting it, it's gonna get that yellowish tint to it, but I really like it, especially when it pairs with this stunning honey golden patina. And I did add a luggage tag to it that says M Heart E. Obviously that is for Minnie Loves Edward. So this bad boy, I love it. I absolutely love it. And this guy was made in France. But I will never forget it. Every time I use that bag, I automatically get catapulted back to when I got it on the Champs-Elysees. So it has a very, very special place in my heart. Anyways, let's keep going. All right, so another oldie of mine is the Chanel GST. This is in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. GST stands for Grand Shopping Tote. So I've had this bag for 10 years. I believe it was purchased at Neiman Marcus, and I still have the tag that it came with because obviously I got it there. And it retailed for $2,900 bucks. Can you imagine finding a Chanel leather tote now for $2,900 bucks? It's like unheard of. You can find SLGs for $2,900 bucks, right? But this bag, I absolutely love it. This is a forever bag for me as well. I still use it. I think it is absolutely incredible. And the fact that I've had it for 10 years and it still looks the way that it does, I think it's pretty fabulous because these were known to have really gnarly sagging on the sides, and I do have some slight sagging here. I don't think it's too bad. Again, for as old as this bag is, and what how I've used it, but I absolutely love it. I think it's awesome. And when I got it, I remember I was nervous because I was like, okay, $2,900 plus tax. And I was kind of like having a little freak out because obviously it wasn't the price point of a Neverfull. It wasn't a price point of a Speedy. So I was like, okay, that's a lot to be dropping on a bag, but I'm so happy that I got it because 10 years later, it is still going strong in my collection and it is still in rotation and I will never, ever, ever part ways with it. But yeah, so the GST or the Grand Shopping Tote. And the last bag is the Chanel Jumbo in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. So I have had this bag for 9 years and this was actually my holy grail when it came to Chanel. I will never, ever, ever, ever forget when I purchased this handbag. I was at the South Coast Plaza Chanel and I was freaking out when I purchased this bag because at the time it was $5,500 bucks. I think after taxes and everything, it came out to like $5,900. And I was having a major panic attack because I was thinking, oh my God, you are nuts. You're spending like $6,000 on a bag. I was like, my heart was in my throat. I was like hyperventilating. Of course, I didn't show anybody. It was all internal. I was just freaking out because I kept thinking, it's more than my first car. My first car was $1,500 bucks, and the fact that I was spending this much money on a bag, I was like, you're nuts, that you've lost it. What is going on with you? Like I kept questioning my sanity over and over and over and over again. Like it was, it was insane. You would have thought, okay, maybe if you're freaking out this much, maybe you should not buy it. No, I went ahead and purchased it. And it was so surreal that I had it in my collection. Like there were days when I would just sit there and stare at it because I couldn't believe it was part of my handbag. I couldn't believe I had it. And I didn't want to use it. I didn't want to use it because I was like, dude, if something happens, that's a lot of money, and I just kept focusing so much on the price tag that it had. But I remember I was working like overtime and, if I had my extra mad money, I'd put it in my little stash for this bag. And it just made me so happy because it's the fact that I was able to finally purchase it. it was like a dream come true, you know what I mean? Because like I said, it was my holy grail bag. And even though I had that major freak out and I was thinking like, you're nuts, you're crazy, what are you doing? You're spending this much money on a bag, you're stupid, blah, blah, blah. Even though I thought all of that, once I had it and once I was like, you know what? No, I deserve this. I put a lot of, time and effort into acquiring this bag. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to use it. I deserve this bag. And I never looked back. Even though for like the first 2 years, it ended up being one of my least used bags, or actually for like the first 3 years, I even contemplated selling it. I even contemplated selling this bag because I was like, you know what? I don't really use it as often as I should and stuff like that, but that is now in the past because it is a bag that I do use. Not as much as some of the other ones that I have in my collection, but I still use it quite a bit. And every time that I use it, it automatically takes me back to the day that I purchased it and my mini freak out moment and just the way that I felt about it. But, whether it's 10 years later or 9 years later, $6,000 on a bag is still expensive. You know what I mean? It's not like I have lost all sense of reality. It's not like I'm like, oh yeah, $6,000 is nothing for a bag. No, it still is. It was back then and it still is now. But I was over the moon when I'd sit there and I'd stare at it and I'm like, this bag is mine, and I remember people were like, oh my gosh, if you had to save for it, then you shouldn't have it. It shouldn't be part of your collection, blah, blah, blah. You should just be able to spend that much money at the drop of a hat. And I'm like, what? That is the most delusional thing I have ever heard. Everybody acquires their pieces one way or another. Whichever way works out for you the best, then so be it. You know what I mean? No one should say, oh no, you shouldn't have to save up for a bag. Relax, relax. But anyways, so yeah, that's my other oldest bag. The one that I got, I think it was 2 or 3 months after this, was the Chanel wallet on chain. But anyways, that does it for this video. A huge thank you to May for tagging me. And I would love to tag any of you that want to make this video, or if you would rather share with us in the comment section down below, I think that would be fantastic. But again, I just wanted to give you guys a little backstory on some of my oldest pieces. And I love that they automatically catapult me to when I first got them and the feelings that I have, the warm and fuzzies that I still have for them today, I think is absolutely fantastic. But I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.